I have two questions. I'll make them short. The first is, you talk about going to the roots of the problem in our childhood, and I think there's a lot of Western psychology and psychiatry. Your inner child and things like this. What would you say to the people that would be prone to getting lost in the problem and staying stuck back there rather than living it today and working in the solution? First part. And then second, I might be one of those people who gets lost in the past and stuck in the problem. And obviously as a woman, and you said 80% of women complain of loneliness, I'm single, and I'm saying that because, as you said, the love at first sight, the honeymoon phase, all of these things, well, is it really worth it, is what I'm saying. I mean, is it better to be single and live my life working on real world problems and, rather than living my life and trying to, fall in love?
Thank you. So would you accept the proposal tonight? Thank you for being honest and for raising some serious issues. Being stuck in the past, a lot of people unfortunately do that. In the past, if you talk about Oman as a community, we used to have the comfort and the leisure of having 3 generations in one house. You have the grandparents, parents, and the children live in one house. And usually grandparents used to play the role of the mentors. They would develop a strong, friendly relationship with the grandchildren, and they'll be their best friends. Unfortunately, as a part of civilization and development, etc., and modernization, that link is beginning to miss. We begin to miss that link. So now, who is the mentor? It's the television, it's the media, it is a social network. And who are we asking? We're asking people who are like us, who are stuck, just like ourselves. So my suggestion is that spending those 5 minutes just observing, being an observer, and by focusing on one issue at a time. Let's say, for example, there is something you are running away from. There is something you fear the most. There is something you are unhappy with. There is a particular situation you have. I don't like to call it a problem, call it a situation. So you say, I have this situation and I'm confused. I don't know how to get out. Allow your mind to wander. Although I say 5 minutes, usually after 20 minutes of sitting still, just waiting for an answer to come, allowing your mind to go there, eventually get the answer. And the biggest challenge is to discipline yourself to sit still without any distraction for 20 minutes. Start with 5 minutes. You will find the answers if you seek. Those who seek shall find. Allah says in the Quran, وَقَرَّبُوا أُدْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. And your Lord has declared and said, ask me, call upon me, and I shall answer you. So when we ask Allah, we are asking the infinite wisdom. We are really tapping into that infinite wisdom who knows everything. And usually solutions do come as a package. You get a clear, right answer to the problem. Most of the time, either we fail to recognize the answer or we refuse to recognize the answer. But if we recognize it, we accept it, we take ownership, and then we take action, usually the problem goes away. So that is one. As to the second question, and by the way, it will be good, I'm suggesting this now when we're here, it will be good to begin to create these social circles, not through the media, but just sitting around as friends. Those who trust each other, those who care for each other. It will be good just to have a circle of anything up to 5, 7, maximum 10 people, where you gather every now and then, once a week, and you begin to address a particular issue. And then as you do that, you sit for 5 minutes silently, reflecting on it, contemplating on it, and then trying to find an answer. And then you take that issue as a homework to go and do research. You meet after 1 week, you begin to share some ideas. The one thing is that do not suggest ideas, do not suggest solutions. Let the person discover solutions themselves. Because you and me, we have different worlds. If you have an issue, I see it differently. If you have an issue, you see it differently. But if I see it with my own lens, it means something to me. So I would suggest that. Find people you care about. It could be the family, it could be friends, it could be relatives. You can do that. There's nothing stopping you. As of the second question, the issue we have now, and it is a situation. Getting married is a sacred contract. I asked a very simple question. For one person to become a qualified engineer, lawyer, doctor, pilot, whatever, how many years of studying and how many exams that they go through and how many positions or jobs they do under supervision before they are qualified to be doctors, lawyers, engineers, pilots? And the question is very simple. To be a spouse, a husband or a wife, how much did we equip ourselves with knowledge to know the rights and duties, to know the rights and obligations? It appears marriage is about, yeah, we see each other, yes, we are attracted to each other, opposite attract. And then, okay, yeah, maybe it can work together. And then usually it's like two circles. When those two circles come together, at the early parts, let me draw it. At the early parts with marriage, what do we see? Two people. There you are. We'll make them the blue and red. They meet each other somewhere, and what do they see? They find something in common. And you know what? They try to label it. You're judging? Love at first sight. Chemistry is working. Oh, I like her personality. We try to justify. Oh, I like his body. I like his money. I like something. So we try to justify, we try to reason, we try to do something to prove that yes, we are right, we've seen the right thing. And that goes okay during courting, during the nikah, during the wedding ceremony, and all the way to the honeymoon. During that phase, each person is there for the other person. They try to win the other person. So for men, they will buy you all the flowers you want, all the jewelry you want, take you to the most luxurious and wonderful restaurants. You just name it. To them, you are the girl of the dream. And to women, she'll be so elegant, so gentle, so sweet and everything. And you say, wow, love is in the air. This is blissful heaven on earth. And then they go to honeymoon. After 2 weeks of honeymoon, what begins to happen? Black stuff begin to appear. They begin to see things that were out of radar. They begin to see some black spots. I don't like the way he sits. I don't like the way he rubs his belly after eating. Wakes up in the morning, he looks at her, he says, is this the girl I married? All the makeup is gone. And then suddenly, she discovers that he snores at night, and he discovers that she kicks at night. Yeah? So we begin to see these things, and guess what? By shifting focus, this becomes what is known in psychology and in the leadership school, it becomes the storming stage. Storming. A storm begins to develop. It all starts with small arguments. She tells him, hey, when you finish eating, take the plate from the yeah? And he says to her, when I come home, I like some peace. Any other questions?
My question is about unconditional acceptance.
Okay.
It's perhaps it's within your control to accept others unconditionally. But it's very challenging when others have to accept you unconditionally as well. You will get a lot of demands and a lot of things that that you are not accepted unconditionally. There are a lot of conditions imposed on you. So how do you cope with this situation? How do you actually explain to others that you need to be accepted unconditionally as well?
Good question. Thank you for that. The question is that it's quite easy to unconditionally accept others. But as a return, you would like others to accept you unconditionally, and it's something that is out of your control. Guess what? We've all heard about the statement, do as you be done by. In the Quran it says, وَمَا جَزَاءُ الْإِحْسَانِ إِلَّا الْإِحْسَانِ. The reason is that you have not been accepted unconditionally is because in the past you did not also accept unconditionally. Yeah? Give it a try. When you accept others unconditionally, it will take them time to realize what is happening before they will accept you unconditionally. The Prophet of Islam said, أَقْرَبُكُمْ مِنِّي مَجْلِسًا يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَحَسِنُكُمْ أَخْلَاقًا. Those who are going to be so close to me in ranks in the Day of Judgment are the ones who are full of manners in the way they deal with others. In other words, they truly accept people as they are. In so doing, people will eventually accept you. Let me share with you a story that I read once in a Chinese book. The story goes like this. A young lady fell in love with a young man. And to them, it was bliss on the earth. Wonderful marriage, happy with each other, but there was a snag. They had to live in a house with the husband's mother. So she had to live with her mother-in-law. The mother-in-law, realizing that suddenly another woman has come to her son's life and being possessive, she wanted his attention, they began to compete. A mother-in-law and the wife began to compete for his attention. And before you know it, there was a lot of clash, friction that developed gradually to become into resentment, anger, and they all played games with him, trying to win him. So she realized that the mother-in-law is standing on her way between her and her loved ones. So she wanted to get rid of her mother-in-law. She said, how can I get rid of her? She went to one of the shifus. Shifu is a knowledge person, a teacher, and she told her story. And the shifu said, I have a solution for you. It's easy. We've done it many times before. He gave her a bottle of water, and he said, in this bottle of water, I have put only one droplet of a very strong poison. To ensure that she doesn't die suddenly, and people don't have any suspicions around you, give her a little bit of this water every day, and it will slowly poison her body and become weak, and then she'll eventually die. It will take about 6 months for this to work. And she said to herself, I've lived with this mother-in-law for more than 2 years. 6 months, thereafter I'm going to live everly. I'm going to live happily thereafter. No problem. And then the Shifu said to her as well, when you begin to give her this water, be nice to her. So that again people don't think because you hate her, you resent her, as a result, you did something to her. So she did 2 things. Gave a little bit of that water every day, and she became nice to her. And she began to give the water, day by day, day by day. After 3 months, the mother-in-law realized that this girl has been so nice to her, she began to like her. And they became good friends. Now they could have stories together, they could chat together, when the husband would come, they would sit together. Things were wonderful. But after 5 months, the mother began to become ill, and her health deteriorated so fast. At that moment, the girl regretted doing what she was doing. Now this mother is wonderful. She's so cute, so nice, so pleasant. She says, now I want her because now she's my friend. So she ran to the chief and said, you know what? I want to reverse the damage. I've done the damage, I want to reverse it. And the chief said, unfortunately, it's too late. You can't do anything. And she began to break down and crying. As she was doing that, she says, my girl, stop crying. The water that I gave you is pure water, there is nothing in it. What changed her is your attitude toward her. So my suggestion, as a long-winded answer, the way you treat people, eventually they're going to treat you. Nevertheless, there will always be those who are, like to suggest with one of our sisters here, who are locked into their past. People who are locked into their past, it's not supposed to be your problem. It's their problem. It is their issue. The only thing you can do is support them to unlock themselves from their past. But if they choose to remain in their past, then all you have to do is that give unconditionally, accept them unconditionally, and let them live with their life. Yeah. As I said, no one has the authority to change anybody. Thank you.
Sorry, in addition of that, how do you link this? I know the hieroglyphs of Muslim, it says nobody, he suggests that a person can reach the self-actualization, but again he suggests nobody in life can reach the self-actualization till the birth, the death, and until they die. Yeah? And, yeah? And how do you link this when you said be responsible, love unconditional, support and consider, support them unconditional with the affiliation? You want to be loved as well, you want to feel the affiliated and all.
Indeed. Two questions. One of them suggests that with the Maslow hierarchy of needs, it is suggested that nobody can reach the self-actualization until they die. And the answer is in pursuit of perfection. Do you know why we still have the missing link? And yes, we're going to have the missing link till we die. The simple reason behind it, why the missing link will always be there. And what I'm saying today is that we need to learn to live with the missing link. Not to make the missing link the only thing that is missing. The reason we'll always have a missing link is because we as human beings have not been created for this world. The spirit in us, the soul in us does not belong to this world. It belongs to another life, another world. That world is the world of perfection. So as human beings, we are told by the Prophet of Islam, الدنيا خلقت لكم وأنتم خلقتم للآخرة. This life, this earth, and this world has been created for you, and you have been created for another world. The other world has got four qualities. People who live in the other world have four qualities. And the problem is that we are trying to fulfill those qualities in this life, and it is a mission impossible. Quality number one is a quality of eternity. Who wants to die? Quality of life. We all want to live. We cling to life as if this is life. This is temporary. Nobody wants to die. The other life is the life of eternity. There is no death in the other life. Quality number two is the quality of remaining young. We all play games to remain young, but it's temporary. The other life is remaining young forever. Quality number three is the quality of want. We always want more and more and more. The more we have, the more we want. The other life is the quality of abundance, unlimited abundance. And the final quality, quality number four, all these three qualities combined together go to serve quality number four. Wanting to live, wanting to remain young, wanting to have everything is basically to have a blissful pleasure. Blissful pleasure. Unlimited happiness. And all these go to serve that quality number four. That life is unlimited happiness. All I mentioned in the Quran. So yes, the missing link will always be there. What I'm suggesting today, let us not become the hostage of a missing link. Let us not become so much emotionally reactive to the missing link. The missing link is not everything in life. Everything is on the move. What is missing today will become tomorrow, and another missing link will come. We ought not to be preoccupied with what is missing, whilst failing to enjoy enjoy what we already have. Let us learn to enjoy what we have before we may see what we don't have. We'll take 2 more questions. We have 2 ladies here, and we have the gent at the back. Yeah, so let's take the question from the gent, and then we come to the 2 ladies, and then call it a day. Walaikum Assalam.
Thank you very much for the lecture. Just part of information here regarding the divorce. You said that any 2 couples they have enough knowledge before they get married.
Yes.
I remember one of some country, they found out that the increase of divorce of man and women have increased high. So the government they come with a new suggestion that any 2 couples where they are trying to they have to go for that course for female course, and that course is studied by professional people in social and family relationship.
Yeah.
And actually it was very successful. Even the number of divorce has been decreased, and it was very successful. For that I'm suggesting if there's any chance that the government they can go on kind of those courses.
Yeah, Malaysia did that. Malaysia did that, and they became successful. We had a course because divorce rate was high. They did Rumah so he said yes. People have to go on a course. I can't remember if it was 3 months or 6 months. And when they graduate from that, a gift from the government is they go to Umrah for their honeymoon. And yes, that became successful. Yes, the government can start, or if you have enough businessmen here, they can start as a scheme, as a center. And yes, advocate for it and good business. Let's go to the ladies.
The other thing is
You had 1 question, that's 2, okay.
As I understand, I can summarize the lecture today for the missing links. For the master Iraqi, I found out it's supposed to be very thankful and grateful for all the things Allah gave him. That missing links can be found. Are you sure with me what I'm saying?
Yeah. What I need to talk about tonight is ala bilikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. In invoking the name of Allah spiritually, in tapping into the infinite wisdom, we will find that internal tranquility. Tatma'innul qulub. The tranquil of the heart is when we remember Allah. Because when you remember Allah and you hand over your problems to Him, yeah, then you realize, you are handing over to the Supreme. You are handing over to the most wise, the most knowing, the one who can do anything, yeah. And indeed, as Muslims, that goes without saying, yeah. So I think, indeed, we need to tap into that. 5 times a day we go and pray. It's an opportunity. Let us hand over our problems and our issues, and let us seek solutions from Him. He's giving us solutions, but we are blind, or we have deaf ears. We're not listening. Yeah. Quran is full of suggestions, full of ideas, full of guidance, full of solutions. Yeah. But sometimes we do not heed to those solutions, and as a result, we enter turmoil. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yes, ladies.
You're saying kids can be affected to whatever happens to them in the past.
Yes.
You're saying kids can be affected to whatever happened to them in the past, and when they grow up, they might have it, but they just don't realize it. I have a brother who's a very naughty brother. We try our best to do whatever way possible, but it's just not happening to him.
How old is he?
He is 4 years old, and the thing is, whatever we tell him, we won't give you whatever you want unless you listen to us. He would say, okay, just don't give me what I want. And he just continues to do whatever. And then at the end of the day, he would cry and say, I want it. We try different ways. We try whatever ways parents could do. It doesn't happen to him. I tried, right now I'm trying this. I don't want him to feel that he's not liked or something like that, because recently he told us why doesn't my cousin likes you? Just because he did something naughty and the cousin didn't talk to him. So we told him, you didn't respond to whatever we told you, so That's why he doesn't talk to me. So
Okay.
I don't want him to feel that way. And when he does anything naughty, I tell him, I like you, but it's just whatever you do, you won't get what you want unless you listen to me.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's the right way or there's another way.
Inshallah. Good question. First of all, you judge the young boy as naughty. You're still judging him as naughty. And my suggestion, he's not naughty. As children, when we are born with two qualities. One of them is we are uninhibited. We come to this world uninhibited. And the first thing our parents and our brothers and sisters do to us, they begin to inhibit us. Through inhibition, we begin to kill creativity, talents, and you name it. And then we begin to get into this vicious circle of emotional blackmail. Yeah? Second thing, we are born as fearless. Fearless. We have no fear. Kids do everything. They don't think of consequences. To them, they can easily jump from a 10-story building. They go to a swimming pool, they see water, they want to jump. So we are born fearless. And guess what? The first thing our parents do, they inhibit us and they instill fear in us. I'm not suggesting it is wrong. All I'm suggesting, because we have failed to go and learn how to raise kids, we make damage. Because we fail to learn, we go and cause damage. We try to fix it using our strength. We go black emotions. Again, conditional. If you do this, this will happen to you. If you don't do this, if you don't stop, this will not happen to you. My suggestion is that we had that last time session we had about teens. It applies to kids. First thing is that with kids, all the way to the age of 7, is to give them unconditional love. If they have a lot of energy, it is our duty to provide environment for them to go and dissipate that energy. It's not our duty to go and restrain that energy. We have to allow that energy to dissipate. It is our duty to ensure we also give them enough room to explore, to learn, to discover the world. The only time we can inhibit them if it becomes a life-threatening event. Most of the time, it is what is happening with kids. It is an irritation. They are not allowing us to watch the news. They are not allowing us to have a conversation. They are not allowing us to have enough quiet time, and they become a bother. Children are very demanding with attention. And with children, you cannot speak and not look at them. If you speak and not look at them, they feel you're not speaking to them. You have to give them the undivided attention. And it becomes, to a lot of parents, very draining, energy draining. I accept. But that's why you have them. Yeah. So, with kids, 3 things do to them. First of them, always raise their self-esteem. Tell them they are good boys. MashaAllah. Three things you need to do, kids. Number 1, always protect their self-esteem. I hope parents are listening to me. Protect their self-esteem. Never, ever lower their self-esteem. By not lowering their self-esteem, do not make them feel guilty. Do not make them feel that they are bad. Do not make them feel that they are naughty, that they are dangerous. Never, ever do that. I know it's a challenge, but there is a way out. It will take time, and the minute you begin to play the game, you realize that the sweetest thing ever on this earth. Number 2, give them enough room to explore, to learn, to discover. By having a decent conversation with them, by giving them undivided attention and quality time. You don't give them that quality time, they'll get it from the nannies. If they don't get it from the nannies, they're going to get it from television. If they don't get it from television, they're going to get it from school, from the streets. And guess what? My suggestion, the reason kids today are naughty is because there was too much cartoon. And cartoon is nothing other than being naughty. If you're not naughty in the cartoon, you're not a cartoonist. It's all about violence. It's all about mischievous. Don't allow them to watch too much cartoon, because cartoons are dangerous. We think it's entertaining, but it is damaging. It is brainwashing them. That's number 2. Give them time. Invest in them discovering the world. And number 3, learn to forgive unconditionally. Because the only way kids learn is by making mistakes. They break the most expensive vase, worth 500 riyals. You want to scream your head out. You want to tear your clothes. You want to whack them. Whatever you do, it will not bring back the vase. It's gone. Only thing you can do is let them learn from that experience. Never express any shock to them. Okay, you've broken it. Let us learn from this. How in future can we prevent this? I'll repeat to kids, my dear brothers and sisters. Self-esteem. Keep on raising it on your children. Make them feel proud of themselves. Focus on their identity. Tell them how good they are. Tell them how much you love them. You can never give them enough. Number 2, give them enough room for them to discover their world. Provide that undivided attention, quality time. Provide them with games, with books. Take them out. Let them find the world. If they have energy, give them outdoor activity to dissipate that energy, to let that energy out. And number 3, never ever make them feel guilty. All the way until they are 10. The only time the kid has to begin to feel the sense of responsibility is after the age of 10, not when they're 3 or 4. Yeah. You have a wonderful brother. Being naughty, it means that he's energetic, he's creative, and he's going to be a successful person in future. You're going to be very proud of him in the future. But thank you for sharing that story. Final question from the...
Thank you very much.
Okay, if you take the mic, please.
Just to conclude, since we are going to lead throughout with our missing link, can we conclude that missing link is a positive force which makes us think deeper and work harder and be better people?
Yeah, good question. The question says that, in conclusion, the missing link is always going to be there. Does that mean that every missing link we have to take it positively? And the answer is yes. Every missing link comes to you, it's there to teach you, to be a better person, to be wiser, to be stronger. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And guess what? In actual fact, you should have a missing link every day, and your duty is to go and close it. But your priority, I'll say it again, your priority in closing the missing links, number 1 has to be about your health. I'm talking about your health, 4 types of health in you. Your physical health, if you lose it forever. If you allow your body to begin to exert cortisol every day because of anger, frustration, and resentment, it's going to damage your kidneys, it's going to damage your heart and others. There is no reverse. And then there's your emotional health. It's your duty to protect your emotional health. And then there is your mental health. Psychology, stress, worries, fear, anxiety. And finally, it is your spiritual health. That is your priority number 1. Protect your health. Health is wealth. Physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Number 2 is about your loved ones. If you are on your deathbed, you will not spend the last hour at work. You will want to spend it with your loved ones. Why is it then our loved ones get the last attention? Because we're too busy at work, seeking career, seeking money and other things. They have to have that. And we talk about whether it is our spouse, children, or parents. We tend to neglect our parents. That is, our parents need us as they grow, they become children. They want our attention. And they want our undivided attention. When I go to visit my mother, and I'm busy playing with my BlackBerry, because I'm sitting with her, I'm not having quality time with her. I have to be there, undivided attention to her. The biggest complaint parents do, they say, our children don't care. They don't visit us. When they come here, it's for 5 minutes. And then finally, What value can you add in society? Help others. Have these study circles and helping others. Yeah. Tamam? So before we conclude, questions are over. We have a young lady who is keen to accept Islam. I'm going to take her through the questions to qualify whether she understands what she's getting herself into, and then we invite her to Islam. Okay? And the mic is on to you. Okay? Okay. Lucy, do you speak English? Okay, I'm going to ask you a few questions. Yeah? If you accept, say yes, I accept. Okay? To become a Muslim is to believe in one God. One God who is eternal, who is absolute, who doesn't have a shape, doesn't have a space. We should not imagine him as a father sitting in heaven on a chair or something. He is an everlasting one God. And we are only allowed to have a relationship with one God, not multiple gods. Do you accept that? Okay. To be a Muslim is also to accept there is another life after this life. When we die, there is another life waiting for us. That life is a life of eternity. Being a life of eternity is either what we're going to live in a blissful heaven if they have done good in this life, or the torment of hellfire if they were evil in this life. Do you accept that there is another life? You accept. To be a Muslim also is to accept that to understand God, whom we call Allah, to understand the life of the hereafter, both are unseen. God from time to time sent prophets, messengers, teachers to show us how to believe in God and how to believe in the life of the hereafter. Prophets came from Adam to Noah, to Abraham, to David, to Moses, to Solomon, to Jesus, all the way to Muhammad. As Muslims, we believe in all of them. Do you believe in all prophets of God? You do. Okay. Now the final of all prophets is Muhammad. He came with a book, and the book is the Holy Quran. The Quran is the word of God. Being the word of God, he didn't find guidance. In the Quran, we are also told to respect and to revere Jesus, to revere Mary and Moses and all the prophets. Do you accept the Quran to be the book of guidance? Okay. That is the foundation. If you accept that foundation, then you have an obligation in building a relationship between you and God. The first relationship is for you to have a contract between you and God to declare that you only believe in one God, you believe Muhammad to be the messenger of God. The second obligation is for you to begin to pray 5 times a day to establish a connection with God. Do you accept that? Yes. And then when the month of Ramadan comes, it's an opportunity for you to purify your body, purify your mind, to go on a fast from dawn to sunset for 1 month. Do you accept that? If you happen to be rich or you have surplus money, then you are obliged to give away 2.5% to the poor and needy in the form of obligatory tax as zakat. Do you accept that? Yeah. Then once in a lifetime, you are required to go to Mecca to perform pilgrimage, to perform Hajj, at least once in your lifetime. Do you accept that? Okay. Then that is building a relationship with God. Then when you say you have responsibility, beyond that is in this life, private life, social life, economic life, and political life, you have to be a good ambassador. Through your manners, through your act, through your attitude, you are going to represent Islam. All of that has to be based on promoting peace, because Islam means peace. You say, Salaam alaikum, peace be with you. So are you ready to promote peace through your manners and your attitude and your dealing with people? Yes. Then the final obligation you have is to continue to seek knowledge, and through knowledge you have to invite other people to Islam through your manners, through the way you interact with them. Do you accept that? Okay. Then the next thing I'm going to request you is to repeat after me the contract between you and God. Okay? The contract, I'm going to say it in Arabic, which means that I declare there is only one God that is worthy of worshipping, and his name is Allah. And I declare Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. You ready? Say Ashhadu Come closer to the mic, please. Yeah, put the mic close to you. Say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Congratulations, you know. Sisters will take care of you. They will begin to teach you everything you need to know about Islam. Okay, we conclude with dua. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma la ijtima'ana hadha ijtima'an marhuma. وجعل تفرقنا لذلك اللهم مقسوما ولا فينا ولا منا ولا بيننا شكور محروما. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. جزاكم الله خيرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.